What's going on, Tamers? It's your boys, the host of DigiPod Digital Podcast. With me, I have Gino to my right. Maybe, I don't know. I think usually it's the right one. It's just us two. How's it going?
I'm doing all right, man. It's an unusual day for our podcast because we were sitting in a car for 6 hours on our normal podcast day. So decided not to do it. And then I went to a locals the night after. So we're a couple days late for our usual podcast recording day. So it feels a little off, but I'm doing all right. What about you, Dan?
Good. I forgot to introduce myself too as well. My God, I'm just not knowing how to do an intro today, I guess. Dan as well, me right here. Anyways, doing good, you know. We finally did it. We did it, boys. For anyone who doesn't know, this whole pod is just gonna be about this past weekend in Virginia, basically. Maybe we would added extra stuff at the end. If you've been living on the rock, you probably know or don't know that your boy got to top 16. We got the invite. Unfortunately, Gino did not get his. We'll talk all about it in more detail in a bit, but
So close.
We did it. This is the first time that I got an invite this early in a season, which is awesome to have. And the cool thing about it is the same time as everyone else. So that means like I'm playing against I'm not gonna say later on as bad competition, but I'm just saying like everyone's striving for that invite. And there's no chance of like, hey, if I get 19th place, I can get a pass down, you know? So it's cool in that aspect that I was able to do it on the very first, a second regional for NA at least, but first in person. So like, I'm super hyped about that for sure. It was a great time. And Virginia, a lot of fun laughs, a lot of games we were playing. Great time overall. Locals, obviously we didn't have no locals. If Gino wants to talk about Tuesday Manamoka locals, go ahead.
Sure, I'll talk about it real quick. I had a very frustrating locals, I should say.
Oh no! What?
The last round was a disaster.
Oh God!
So I decided I finally got my Lucimon X's and my one copy of BT18 Satan mode that I run in my Lucimon deck. So I was like, you know what? That's what I'm gonna play. I have a lot of fun playing Lucimon. It's very like Dark Masters-esque, where you know you're doing like 1 to 2 actions a turn and that's it. Then you're just kind of chilling and saying, hey, you know, now you got to figure out, you know, how to play around this. So a lot of fun with Lucimon. So round 1 I played against, what did I play against? Gallantmon. I played against Gallantmon. He was using the new AD01 Gallant. He has 3 copies of it in his list as of right now. And this guy's pretty new to the game. So a lot of the time I had to sort of help him out. Like he was trying to warp using like the X antibody pieces. And I'm like, unfortunately, the cards explicitly state you need to put a Growlmon and War Growlmon, not in name underneath.
Correct.
So you can't use them to warp. You can't warp into Gallant X, for example, which is something he tried to do once. And so, you know, walked him through it. Like I said, he's kind of new to the game. So I just did Lucimon things. Nothing all that exciting or special. What's funny, though, is that his list is heavy on Takatos. And the new War Growl plays a Takato for free no matter what on Evo from Hand or Trash. And so he very often had a tamer that he didn't mind deleting off of my Lucimon effects because he was just spitting them out like every turn. So that was kind of funny. But we got there slow and steady. Lucimon, doing Lucimon things. Round 2, I played against Red Hybrid. And I thought I was going to get cooked up here because new Red Hybrid stuff is cracked.
It is.
I was able to get into a Satan mode really early in one of the games where he had already done his loop turn. Aldemon had died in security because unless he's really pumping it with DP inherits, which he wasn't, he's going to die in security almost every time because like 90% of my security is 13,000. So he would often swing at like 10 or 12 and then miss his sec +1 checks because he just died in security. So that was good for me. But I remember one game, he had done that. He ended turn with a tamer and nothing else on board. And I was like, cool. Satan mode doesn't give you a choice. I can just straight up kill a tamer. And then if I don't, I burn a security or something. So I was able to just get rid of his triple tamer, which was hugely devastating for him. And that's basically what it came down to. I was able to just chip away at his security bit by bit. And every time I would get down to like no security, I'd be able to do like, oh, I'm going to slam Lord Knight, put him in security, get a free Evo into Chaosmon.
Yeah,
and then I have to, I ended up oftentimes recovering.
You just keep like board control and you're also recovering, so you just never die. And when they do hit it, because they have to hit it to try to win, you just F them up.
Exactly. So it's just like a constant, like, he'd hit me for like 1-2 checks like every turn, sometimes 3, and then I would just restabilize every turn because he does not want to delete his tamers off of my effects. So pretty funny. That one went well. And then game 3, I got cooked up. I played against Hadesmon. And here's the problem. If Hadesmon finds all his stuff, he can go all 5 checks in 1 turn very quickly and very easily. And my effects are very interesting because they are like, you may delete one of your Digimon. And Hadesmon just recurs stuff. So he goes, yeah, I'll delete my guy because Hadesmon's just going to play another one back out. There was a situation where I had game on board, but I tried to be cute with it. I was like, oh, I'm going to go into this chaos mode anyway, even though realistically all I have to do is do a Paradise Lost swing for game. And I didn't realize that going into the Chaosmon and asking him to delete a body would mean that he'd spit out another blocker. So he deletes Raidramon, and then Raidramon plays a level 3 out, which is the Protect Blonde blocker. And I'm just like, ah, shit, I had game here, and I totally just threw. So, partially my fault because I'm still not 100% sure what that deck does. I think I have a pretty good grasp on it now that I've actually played against it. But little frustrating that way. And then game 2 was crazy because I was down to 0 security and I came all the way back just by stabilizing and Lucamon stuff, by emptying his board because I had gotten the Satan mode larva set up pretty early. And then my trash was pretty big too because he had cleared all my security. So that's, at least 5 cards in my trash, possibly more from what I recover. And then I would just go, yeah, Dead or Alive for 8. I play a free Satan mode from this. Like, pretty cool because Dead or Alive plays a Lucamon in name once you have 10 cards in trash. So you can slam your level 7, which is very fun. So I managed to stabilize and somehow come back from that. I felt like I was playing on the back foot the whole time, but we got there. And then game 3, talked about this on the pod that is most recently released now, but by this point it will probably be 2-3 weeks old. If Lucamon bricks, you just lose. My options are pass or play Lucamon for 13. I didn't see a single rookie until turn 4, and at that point he had cleared all my security with the big Hadesmon borderline OTK. Because Hadesmon gains Sec +1 at some point during the climb, swings 2 checks, and then his overclock kills the one that gives him Sec +1 again, and that's 3 more checks. And then it's like, answer this board of like 3-4 guys, and if you choose to kill anything before Hadesmon, it's going to spit out another guy. So it's like really, really devastating, and I just bricked like crazy. There's nothing I could do. Every card I drew was a dead draw. Like, it's really rough with Lucamon. You really need to see a rookie. And that was even my mulligan hand, because my first hand was also just chaos modes. It's just like, man, there's just nothing I can do off of this this hand. It sucks. There was also a situation, I remember the last turn, he had a Hadesmon and Docmon on the board. Or Hadesmon and something on the board. And I killed something, and he spit out Docmon. Docmon's a 4K, and I'm like, my plan here, I had 1 security left. He had nothing in raising, and he had just the Hadesmon in the other body. My plan here is that I'm going to, after he spits out whatever he spits out, I'm going to hard slam Dynus. Dynus is going to neg the board 6K to get rid of his little body, and then Dynasmon's second effect deletes Hadesmon. And then he's not going to be able to play another body out off of Hadesmon because he'll be under the 6K blanket. What ended up happening was when he spit out the body, Hadesmon let him link something that let Docmon get up to 8K. And I'm like, now my my plan is just completely gone because now the only thing I can remove is Docmon, and that does not help me at all. So I was just playing on the back foot the entire game 3. It was a very frustrating game to lose because there's literally nothing I can do. Like, I can give him 10, but that's just like, come on. Like, you don't give someone 10 in today's game. When you don't give someone 10, like, the worst part is I had the good chaos mode, the one that plays a demon lord or Satan mode after when it's removed, but I have no way to trigger that because to trigger it you need to bottom deck a yellow Lucamon.
Yeah, correct.
And I didn't even have a Satan mode or like a Leviamon in trash anyway, so it's like I'm not doing anything like this game, like straight up. So just unfortunate loss there. Big brick. I'm putting Lucamon away. I'm never playing it in tournament again until it gets more support. He'll be a fun deck choice, but with a brick like that, I don't want to play it in any, even if it's just a fun locals. I don't think I ever want to play it in a serious setting again, like, because that was really bad. Like, that's one of the worst like hands of Digimon I've ever had. Never again.
The nature of the beast with that type of deck.
It's so cool though. Like, I love Lucamon. This is a really fun deck, but like, man, sometimes you just fall into the pit and you cannot climb out. Straight up. Truly the fallen angel.
Right. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, no locals for me, as we all know. Obviously, we went to Virginia, and I could have went if I wanted to this locals, but I also took that day off as like a mini vacation, part of my vacation, and so I just wanted to chill at home, not play no Digimon. I ended up playing Digimon, and I didn't even want to play it. And I just like, yeah, I don't care about this. You can just have this one. I just don't care right now because I already went through the grind and the mental fortitude of having to deal with a bunch of Styracos. So I was like, you got it, Chief. I don't feel like doing this anymore.
Damn was too good for us casual locals players. Like,
yeah,
I got 13th. I don't need to play with these guys anymore.
No, not for locals, but it was for this other like little tournament we do online. If you're in the Discord, we have what's called the KO tournaments, and to win cards and stuff like that. So like, unfortunately, it was on me because of the whole trip to Virginia. I couldn't play, so like I told him, I was like, yo, I'll try to play on Tuesday because that's a day off for me. And I was playing it, and I was just like, I could tell the deck wasn't feeling me, and I wasn't feeling like playing cards out. It was like a disconnect because we know we just won. Me and Millenniumon just got top 16, and I could feel the burnout from him too. He was like, "Yo, bro, like playing against Medusa, I can't be doing this. I don't have the cards. The cards are not with you right now, or with me." And I was like, you know what, Chief, you're right. I can feel that pain. I can feel the burnout from you, Millenniumon. We're gonna just give him the win and call it a day because we don't feel like doing this Medusa nonsense right now. So yeah, that was my locals basically. We're gonna bring it back. Bring it back to Friday. This is a pretty good weekend. Unfortunately, Gino didn't get top 16. He was really close. I think proud of him for being able to just keep it in, even though like it didn't go as planned. But like in a 9-round tournament, you talk about it better than I can. Obviously, X1-2. I think that's how it technically goes by. Technically the draw is in the middle. I think it's still a really really good record in a 9-round tournament. Those are long. When they're that big. 8 rounds doesn't feel as bad because he's like, where like the half point is, like that 4 rounds like halfway, he's like, all right, you're good. But 9 rounds, it feels longer.
It's always a lot.
Does. So it's still really good to be able to have that type of good record, being placed 22nd, I think it was. So it's realistically 1 win, or if you didn't have that draw there, like you would have been top 16 as well. So don't hold your head too low on that one. You know what I'm saying? We'll get him next time for sure, whenever that next regional is.
Definitely.
That's the goal, at least, for sure. Friday, we take a trip to Virginia. I don't know if anyone knows, but there's a giant bridge. Find out that our boy Lewis is scared of bridges, low key.
The Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
It's awesome. If anyone who's ever been there, it's kind of awesome to like drive through it. You just straight all ocean.
It's like
beautiful,
18
honestly.
miles long or something. It's really cool.
Something crazy long with like 2 tunnels, super long bridge. We get there. We finally get there. We get there by like 5-ish,
something like that, like 5:30 maybe, because we were stuck in that traffic on the bridge.
We get to our Airbnb around 5 p.m. ish. On the way there, I decided to look up where this place is for our venue. Where is the venue at for us to play Digimon? Comes to find out, they changed the venue on us. I'm sure it happened probably like at least a month or so ago, and we just didn't know because I never checked it. I was like, it's good. It's not in my hands to book, so like I wasn't paying attention to it. Comes to find out, it's about like a 30. Yeah, exactly. It was a 30-minute difference. Prior, it was like 10 minutes away. Now it's like a 30-minute drive, so we had to kind of like prepare for that, like for the mornings and stuff like that. So we're like, yo, Mike, shout out to Mike. For any OG watchers / listeners, the boy Mike was there with us. He was the one that got the hotel, not the hotel, got the Airbnb, got everything set up, started the planning for us. If anyone who doesn't know, if you check out our sister channel, I guess you could call it, or umbrella, whatever you, main phase TCG, Ready Deploy podcast. He is now the host with Shurikage over there. So he's heavy on the Gundam side. So Gundam was on Saturdays, Digimon was on Sundays, and you know we kind of planned this out to hang out and chill and whatnot. And so we get there, hang out, boom. Airbnb is nice, really cool.
Yeah, really nice place.
Pretty good overall. This weekend, your boy didn't get sick. That's what mattered.
Never fails. Dan always gets sick whenever we have regionals, nationals, whatever. But this time,
nationals.
This time, he pulled
because
through.
when we went to Virginia last year, I wasn't sick. If you remember.
That's true.
So there is a thing. It's just nationals. Nationals is what gets me, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's flying. Maybe that's the issue. It's the flying part. Like maybe that's what fucks me up. I don't know. Because I can't even say that because I went to LA twice and wasn't sick for those nationals. It's just the last 2 nationals I went to. Don't know. I think
unlucky.
I think at this point it's just unfortunate circumstance with food. I think that's what it is because like when I was in LA, I was perfectly fine for both those nationals. But anyways, yeah. So reason why we went there on a Friday instead of like on a Saturday was because there was a online regional, which I will talk about. Unfortunate turnaround for me because that regional I did terrible, which kind of almost effed up my my psyche going to the Sunday one. But I'll talk more about the Saturday one. So Saturday I chose Millie as well for the thing. I was flip-flopping because I was like, it's an online one. Maybe I could play Shine, or we talked about in the last pod, Fish potentially. And honestly, I think we played one game of Fish. Like I think it was one round of Fish. I think it was me and Lewis. I clapped him up with Fish. I was like, yo, this is feeling pretty good. That was the funniest part about it. I just straight up OTK'd him or something like that. I was like, all right, this is good. But I was like,
you can play that for future regionals now that you get your invite.
100%. That. The biggest issue for me when it came to that was like not that I don't have faith in it. I don't have faith in my ability to pilot Fish, especially Fish nowadays, in a A-mid regional. My thing is that I want to make sure I had as much practice as I've been putting into Millie. Like my off time has legit been playing Millie and Shine more recently because of 8001. And when I play Fish, it's more like I bring this to the side. Like I'm not really playing it in tournaments as much. I played it in one tournament and did really well. Obviously, a couple pods ago, I was talking about winning with it. But like the amount of time I put in it was really just Millie, prepping for this regional. So I kind of wanted to stick to my guns when it comes to the in-person one. And last minute, I was like, I think I'm just gonna stick with the Millie because it kind of gives me a barometer of what to expect for the in-person one. And also, if I think I need a change or two, I can still change it because of that. Spoiler, I changed 0 things in the deck. So round 1, I start off really bad, honestly. Round 1, I play against TS slop deck. And game 1, I have everything but a Millenniumon. And I just straight up lose. Round 2, game 2, I have everything but a Millenniumon again. And game 2, I was like close to still winning even without the Millenniumon. For some reason, I just had things. I didn't know that one. I didn't have BT18 Millenniumon, so I was able to get the promo out and do things. That's how I was still able to almost win it. I think I get like Moo now, if I'm not mistaken. But like not having BT18 Millie to continue your plays and extend and just do the shenanigans that you could do with that deck kind of hurts if you're on the back foot. And I was fully on the back foot for both of those games, and it just, you know, it is what it is. So that's what happened. Round 2, I play against another TS deck, I believe it was, and I lose again. Same form and fashion. Same thing. It was a big issue just finding Millenniumon, and I just not winning. I think one of them I was missing Chimera, unfortunately, or something like that, and I just couldn't, you know, I couldn't do the plays that you normally can with the deck, which for me is the most frustrating part, because it's like, I know if I see the main cards, especially, you know, Millenniumon, at least I have a chance of winning. You know what I'm saying? Whether I win or not is to be determined, but I feel very confident. If I get those pieces, I know I can, you know, do really well in those games, especially against TS. I don't think TS is that bad of a deck. It's just, you know, Minervamon sometimes can be problematic. Neptune can be problematic, obviously, for the deck. Maruki is whatever kind of in that matchup. You don't really care about Maruki as much, but you know, if they have it, they have it, and sometimes it gets that aggro win for them. And then if for the off chance they play, not off chance, Venusmon is a bit problematic for sure. Stunning your board, sword stripping, which is kind of important for the deck for the sex attack +1 and redirects, kind of hurts. And then that protection is a very weird protection where if you do your loop combo, they can interrupt it if you don't have the right pieces around you. So like it's very annoying to deal with, for sure. And so but all in all, it's not that bad. Like, you know, all the cards, all the Olympus 12s are bad against it sometimes, but it's not as bad like in hindsight. So just didn't see like my pieces.
Removal, like toolbox, like
exactly
all the kinds of removal, and like, or at least one of them is going to interact with your deck in an unfun way, no matter what deck you play. So it just so happens that Millie is beaten kind of bad by both the bottom deck and the DigiEvolve, so it can be annoying to try and play around sometimes.
Yep. And you have things that can be played around it, obviously. Moon, if you get Moon Millie and Zeta prior to them Neptune, that's your wall of protection basically, because you have protection off of Moon Millie. You can pop something to protect it, and if you have Zeta on board, Neptune is a dead card at that point. It's literally a dead card. They can't do anything about it, and stuff like that. So there's ways to deal with it for sure. Minerva, again, another way to deal with it without having to deal with the deletion aspect is just DigiEvolve it if they have it on board, or if you have Zed on board, you just bottom deck, and it's even easier because you don't care if they have source of, if you can't DigiEvolve it, stuff like that. So it's very important to get your wicked gods out in that matchup, especially because there's some games.
Even the BT18 Millenniumon, you can just top deck the Minerva so it does the on deletion doesn't trigger.
Correct. Yep. You can also do that as well. It's just ways to get around it, you know what I'm saying? Which is good for the deck. But if you just don't see it, like ain't nothing you're doing about that, unfortunately. So it is what it is. So start off really bad. X2 is terrible. Type of person that I need to see my first win in a round in a big tournament. I'm always that way, because if I don't, it usually spirals out of control for me in the sense of like, all right, I'm gonna lose back to back to back or back to back. Dan
is definitely a momentum player. Like when he's feeling himself, he like rides it really well, and when he's not, he crashes out. Like
and everything. That's not even just Digimon. Like basketball for me, I'm a very momentum. Like I need to be playing consistently to play well. If I don't, then I'm just like I'm bad, per se. And you know, playing like a fighting game or something like that, I need to play it consistently. I can't just pick it up and just be like super nice again. Like it takes me a while to get things going. And that's the type of thing I am for Digimon as well. So like seeing that first win is so crucial for my own my own mentality of the tournament, and just like my play. I always feel like it. And then even if I lose after that, it's just easier to come back from it for me personally. So unfortunately, start X2 kind of bad. I need to just go win out to potentially make top cut, which is hard because your first two losses, if you lose your first two rounds, it's kind of rough sometimes, especially if it's back to back, because those two players could be players that just drop immediately, and you just don't never know. So then
Yeah,
your
your opponent win percentage could be just garbage because
exactly.
It's possible. I'm not even saying like, oh, the first people you play are like the worst people in the tournament. It's more like the first people you play have like the pool is so wide at that point that it's more likely that they're not going to top than it is that they will. And so as a result, your win percentage goes down. So like if you go X2, but your two losses were your first two matches, you might not even make top 16 because your opponent win percentage is so bad.
Exactly. So it's just one of those things. So then round 3, the guy gave me the win immediately. I was like, all right.
I just want participation. You have the W.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, all right, well, you know, I got this win. We'll see how this goes. Like, I get like an hour break. Basically, I could just decompress real quick, chill, and get back to it. And then I run through the effing gauntlet of matches. Basically, I go back to back Styraco, and it's a bit annoying to deal with. No offense to anyone who's a Medusa Styraco player, but like it's a deck where it's very like easy to play, and so like you see it a lot. Not saying it's bad or anything like that. It's a very good deck, and it's the type of deck that can like carry you to wins. If you're unsure what to play, just run Styraco, like straight up. That's how it's starting to feel. It's starting to feel like that, like the Hewdy time, where it's like just pick up Hewdy and you win. You get top 16 easy if you just pick it up.
Sure.
It's very easy to pilot for anyone to run. So I expect to see Styraco, but damn, back to back was just such a gauntlet for me. I ended up winning the first two. So in that matchup, what matters is seeing Chitose first. For me, you just mulligan for Chitose. Doesn't matter what else you have in your hand. Try to find a Chitose ASAP. Even if it's just like a Chitose with like a Chimera Machine Millie or something like that, I probably would keep, because Chitose is that important. You need to be able to use it to filter your hand, to keep your cards in your hand so they don't bomb deck it. It's just so crucial for that aspect. And so I just so happen I find Chitose with a rookie plus options, and I'm off to the races. And so game 1, I won that pretty easily because of that. I know they were a little slower at the gates. If I remember correctly, game 2, I learned that Styraco players decide to not pop their tokens, and I just immediately, because every time I play against Styraco, usually they go pop token to bomb deck something.
Right.
Comes to find out you don't have to pop, and you just bomb deck something to create more tokens. And I was just like, that's interesting. Do you not know what deck I'm playing? Like, I'm playing Millenniumon. You need to kill me fast. Right. And so they don't. Because I immediately go, all right, pop token, and I immediately go to trash, and they're like, no, don't trash. I'm not killing the token. I was like, okay, sure, we'll put it back down. I'll stay at my like 3 security wherever I was, no problem. That's fine by me. And then I legit win because he didn't trash my security when he had the opportunity to. And he put me down to 0 instead of going for game. And I legit just go, all right, we loop, and I won. And so very interesting. That's what I've learned, That's not the first time I see that happen, and that's not the last time I saw that happening. Very interesting. The one time it mattered because the dude had Crimson Blades in hand. So I was like, oh, all right. That's annoying, but I get why you would keep tokens on board besides obviously the protection of Medusa. That happened. So I won that one to next round. I win that one 2-1. Same thing. I was very surprised. They didn't want to pop their own tokens. And at that point is when he does the person does a Crimson Blade like game 1, I think it is. And like Crimson Blade for like 2 or something like that. Trash like 3 security. And then they were like Cyclone for game. I was like, yeah, gotcha. That makes sense. You know?
Right.
And then game 2 or 3, I saw Chitose. I saw Analog Utes. I saw everything that needed to be done to beat that matchup, and I got it. What's funny about that sometimes is that you can like kind of bait them into bottom decking something that's quote unquote important, but it's not really important to your game plan. So like if you get like maybe a machine or a Zed or even like a Millenniumon, and obviously Millenniumon is important, but like if you have multiple in your hands, so you don't care what gets bottom deck, they will kind of like immediately bottom deck the Zed or Millenniumon before sometimes. And then that actually kind of helps you out because now you can still play the game, even though there might be a Chimera in trash. Medusa players, if you're listening to this, which I know some of y'all are, bottom deck everything that's Chimera machine. If you're ever playing against Millenniumon, you don't care about anything else. Bottom deck machine Chimera.
Yep, those are the first that gotta go.
They have to. It doesn't matter if there's a Zed and you know Zed is problematic. Even if you see a Moon on board, even if you see Moon in trash, I mean, bottom deck those other pieces instead, because if they don't have the pieces to get there, they won't even be able to get to the Moon or Zed. And even though Moon would blow up all your Owens, but you still should bottom deck the other stuff first. So I don't know if it's just experience or not for those players, but I've also noticed that in the in-person one as well when I played against the Styraco players. And then the next round, again, another Styraco. I lost that one 0-2. Why did I lose that one 0-2? I'm a dumbass. That's exactly why. I'm gonna be honest. I was
man
dumb.
Goes 2 rounds. Man, Styraco, those matches are easy. Then man, I'm an idiot.
yeah, no, straight up. Because man's teched in something I was not expecting. And so
oh yeah,
I swing,
this.
yeah, that's dumb. I go, so I see it early, right? So I go raise. I think I raise raid Deltamon with a retail as an inheritable. I go raid into his Lamia or Dimetro. I think he had a Dimetro or something like that. And he goes blast Digivolve into War Growlmon Ace. And I was just like, huh? Why? Okay. Steals a memory. Pops my Digimon. Cool. I get my undeletion of the Pogu. Fantastic. I go, this is free memory down the line. When it happens, it's going to be great. And it was. And I pop off. I do loop. I don't kill him, but I put him into a situation where he kind of has the top deck stuff, but I put the War Growlmon Ace back on top of his deck. And so he makes a Medusumon, I think, and he makes another Dimetro. And I know he has it, but I forget he has it. Which matters because I have a board of like a 5 Digimon on board or something like that. I end up having, I think it was Moon, a Gizamon, Machine. I want to say there was a Chimera in that board state, something like that. And so I raised my Gizamon and I'm like, yo, I got 4 swings. He got 3 checks. I got a game. And I immediately just blink, forget he has an ace. Forget he has an ace.
My man's put it on top of his deck for him and forgot about it.
But you know what's the funniest thing? In my mindset of it, I looked at it, I was like, I know he has it, right? And I'm like, there's no way he does it again. Because I forget the War Growlmon's full effect of what it does.
Because it gains some memory.
And also it adds DP. It's not like it's one Digimon. So like I think it adds it starts at 3K and it adds 2 for every your opponent Digimon has. So
Yep.
like he popped up to like 12K, I think it was. Which kind of like
Jeez, what
effed
was
me
your
up or something like
board?
that.
Holy
I had like
moly.
like I said, I had like four Digimon on the board or something like that.
Right.
So whatever the number is, I know it added up to like 11 or 12K total Digimon. So he pops my Chimera and pops my Gizamon and then gains 2 memory off of it. And I was just like, this all could have been stopped and prevented if I had, because I had insane synthetic monster on board. If I just go insane synthetic monster for 5, I have 5 memory. I just go kill the Giza. I play Millenniumon. I digital off his Medusamon. I probably pop the stack or something or whatever and just loop until I kill the board and I just win. But no, I I put the blinders on, I put the helmet on, and I just went, all right, we're just gonna swing out because he got nothing that can stop me. Blow, War Growl Ace, and I was just like, I just threw this game. I threw this match because I think that was game 1 or something like that. I was like, yep, I just lose. And I knew it because anytime I make a mistake like that where it's just so blatant obvious that I shouldn't have done, it usually bites me in the ass because the next game I break the fuck out and I lose. And that was my online run basically from that point on. And I called it quits. I'll get my participation, so I'll get my Koromon, and it won. I forget where the Agumon is. I think Agu is top 32.
Yeah, because
You
I
got
got
Agu.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I could have played for the Agumon and get top 32, but I was shot mentally already at that point. 3 Cyrackles in a row. I know what I need to do against that matchup, but it's just a very hard matchup that I need to like mathematically set up perfectly. In my head, in my hand, do I have the cards to be able to do what I want to do, and so on. I was like, all right, I know he's gonna go climb up Lamia. What's the card I need to put in security because I know it's gonna get trashed? Will I even trash it? I have to put in those into account. I have to put in account that he's gonna bomb deck 2 cards, and that's gonna hurt. And what am I willing to lose at that point? Can I risk losing a Chimeramon and like so on? There's just so much to that matchup when it comes to playing Millie against it. That is just like I don't feel like doing this because I'm probably gonna run to another Cyracco because that's the top dog right now. It is what it is type of thing.
For sure.
And so I was like, yeah, I'm good. I need to decompress after that because I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. And so realistically, going into the next day, so Sunday is the main event for both of us. That is,
Yep.
if I got the online one, fantastic, great. But I know that that's not my goal. My goal was mainly Sunday, and I was thinking hard about that after that because I was like, damn, I need to put another Millenniumon because I have 4 promo obviously, but I run 3 BT18 Millie, which I'll talk a lot more in detail in the card breakdown for the deck profile that will come out prior to this. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't done it yet, but it'll
If
drop
you haven't
eventually.
done it yet, we're cooked. There's no way Varney's getting that out before that.
Yeah. If this pod will probably drop next week, so if you're seeing this pod, that deck probably already dropped, I would assume.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. And so card by card breakdown will be all about that one there. But yeah, I run 3 BT18 Millie. Part of the reason is that like, yes, it's very important. Trust me, it's very important to see, and you need to see it. My mindset is that promo Millie is more important because that's the start of your combo. And realistically, if you see 1 BT18 Millie, you're probably okay. You're going to be good regardless. So you don't need it as much. And Deltamon, BT18 Deltamon allows you to grab that piece back from the trash.
Right.
And so you can do a lot with it. And I just need to fit other things in it for my personal liking. But I was very contemplating. I was like, all right, do I take out another Delta? Do I take out, emerges? Because I have emerges at 4 currently. Do I just go like 1-1 on Moon and Zed? I wasn't really feeling that. Do I take out the DM Chimera or Shalmont DX? Well, I kind of need both of those. I really like DM Chimera when it comes up. There's just so many pieces. Like the way my deck is, about 49 cards, I really love the way it is and how it all works together. realistically, if I were to cut something, I think I would do like an analog or a Chitose, but that's hard for me to say because like those cards are so important to the deck. So I just said fuck it. We're gonna put new sleeves on this bitch because I felt like, yo, these sleeves gotta go. They got bad voodoo on them. We gonna put new sleeves on it and we're gonna rock with it and we'll see what happens. And obviously we know what the end result is, but let Gino talk about his run at this point on.
Sure. So before we get into my run, Saturday I didn't play in the online regional because both Dan and our other friend Lewis were playing in the online regional. I was worried about bandwidth in the Airbnb because we'd be using their internet. Not to mention, like, I also just didn't feel like lugging up my whole setup. I'd have to bring my laptop and my webcam and my microphone and just all the stuff. And I was like, I'm not about it. I just don't feel like setting all that stuff up. Plus, I would have had to get in off the wait list. So, like, let me tell you, I would have been tight if I brought my whole setup only to not even get in off the wait list. That was
terrible.
Right? So it's like, all right, whatever. So I just played video games all day. It was great. But I have to talk about my lunch that day. We got lunch from this slamming place.
Yes.
It was called, I think it was called Stuffed, right? Like Stuft.
Yes, Stuffed.
Yeah. Oh my God. Dude, I got shrimp tacos and the shrimp were breaded with Cool Ranch Doritos. It was phenomenal. And then Lewis got shrimp tacos and Dan got a burrito and everything we got was delicious. So if you
that burrito was like a 5-pound giant burrito that I couldn't finish in one sitting. I legit ate that for lunch and dinner and I was full the whole day. Like it was slamming. And I also got fries with it. The fries were like delicious too. They give you fresh chips with like salsa or whatever the sauce was, or like some spicy sauce.
It was like a salsa verde. It was like a green salsa.
Yeah, it was spicy. They also had like different like ranch, barbecue sauce and stuff like that. And it was all like, that's what the A1. If you ever go Norfolk, check out Stuff. Like shout out to them because that was fantastic lunch. Expensive, but fantastic. It was worth your money.
It wasn't that bad. I think it was like $14 for my taco, something like that.
Yeah, everything came out as like $80 because of DoorDash.
Stupid DoorDash. If we went and picked it up, it would have been a lot cheaper, but you know,
probably like $20 cheaper.
Right? Stupid DoorDash. But I had to shout out lunch because it was, how often are you going to get Cool Ranch Doritos wrapped around your shrimps, that's awesome. Man? It was delicious. I remember when I told Lewis, he was like a little tight. He's like, man, I didn't see that on the menu. I should have got that.
Did you notice it was covered in Cool Ranch Doritos, or you just saw it and was like, oh, this is good?
No, I saw it on the menu. I was looking through because chat, if you don't know, I'm pescatarian, so the only meat I eat is seafood, so I'm always jumping to like the seafood area of the menu.
Yep.
So I was looking through, I was like, oh, shrimp tacos, and it was like they're called Pew Pew shrimp tacos. And I was like, oh, what is this? So I'm reading it and I saw Cool Ranch Dorito and I was locked in. I was like, I don't need to see anything else on this menu. You told me Doritos are in my shrimp tacos and I am down. So it was awesome. They're freaking delicious. And then the rest of the day, Lewis also didn't do great on the online regional that day. He ended up dropping before Dan. Lewis, our buddy, was on New Imperial, in case you're curious. So him and I ended up playing Super Smash Brothers Melee all day. It was great. We just went back and forth playing Melee. And then after Dan finished his run, he jumped in and we played Mario Party and we all had a great time. It was awesome.
Yeah, Friday we were playing, what was it? We played Double Dash, we played Soul Calibur.
Played some Soul Calibur.
A lot of games, yeah.
So I have this little handheld. It's called a Retroid Pocket 6, and I just connected to the TV. I brought some controllers with me, and we were all just gaming. It was really fun. Mike jumped in Saturday night after he got back from his regional. He went 6-4, he said, right?
Does that sound right? Mike went 6-4 in his Gundam regional. Not bad, but could have been better according to what he said. He said there was a couple like hindsight type of plays he could have made better, but he said it is what it is.
Tune into the Ready to Deploy podcast if you want to hear his full breakdown on that if you're a Gundam fan.
He was going to be surprised, like he was going to be on this pod and he was going to talk about it, but he got sick, so he's not here.
Boo. It was cool to see Mike again though, because Mike lives like 6 hours to 6 to 8 hours away from us, so it's always cool when we get a chance to hang out with Mike IRL. Um, so Sunday morning, regional day, we woke up early. Ate some food, got some snacks, and we headed down to the convention center, which was in a hotel. Gorgeous hotel. They had a bunch of like cool ships like out like docked like next to the hotel. It was pretty cool. The event was nice. It was just really freaking hot in the event hall.
Oh
Like
my god.
Mike
So
was saying that. God,
it started off like okay, like it wasn't that bad, but it felt like every hour on the hour, it went up like 5 degrees or something like that. It was so hot by like 3 o'clock in there. It felt like, oh my god, it was so bad.
especially early on in my run, a lot of my matches ran long, and I'm just like, I just want to get back out into the hallway where it's a little cooler.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
um, but what else is I gonna say about that? I don't know. The hotel was nice though. Everything was organized pretty well, and we knew where to go. The only thing that really sucked is that the space was really tight. Like we were shoulder to
Yeah.
shoulder with our opponents. Like straight up, like if you had like an extra long mat, you were overlapping with someone. Like that's
Oh
how
yeah.
tight it was. And
And
then
God forbid you're stuck between a big person.
yeah, seriously.
No offense to y'all, but like, goddamn, like I was stuck between them, and I was like, I got no room, I got no elbow space. Like, can you scoot over a little? And then they were like, Nah, I can't. I'm just like, uh,
Yeah, it was bad, especially because I was playing puppets. If you guys didn't know, I was playing puppets, and so I have extra tokens, and I have nowhere to put them. Like, where do I put these? So some of my later rounds, the tables were actually wider. So I was able to just put my tokens in between, like where our playmats would be. So that's where I set my tokens. Which is a little annoying because then it's like clearly flags to your opponent what deck you're playing, which is a little annoying. But whatever, they'll know once you hatch an Evo Shumon, right? But it's neither here nor there. So I get into round one, and I'll be honest, my mental was kind of shot for this regional. I had kind of a rough week the week before, and I'm just trying to bounce back from it. I'm not going to talk about it on the pod, but one thing that was really annoying is that in a lot of my testing, I was waffling between mostly Vortex and Puppets, and I was having the same problem with both decks, in that I would never see my level 5s. I think I talked about it on one of our pods about how I played Vortex and I played Dan in the finals. I went through 18 cards before I saw like a Grand Gale, and it's just like, what the hell, man? Like, and it was like that with every deck I was playing. Like, it was just like I'm missing one connective piece every time it matters, and it's just really frustrating. So like my mental was kind of shot going, and I'm like, I'm gonna do my best, obviously, put my best foot forward, but like realistically, I don't see myself doing that well. I did a lot better than I thought I would do realistically. So as Dan was saying, I got 22nd, so top 32 prizing for me. Got 6 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. Round one, I played against Sukuyamon, and realistically, so this guy, this was my tie against Sukuyamon. I won 1, lost 1, and tied 1. This guy was like a little late to the table. Not like so late to where it would have been like a game loss or something, but like other people were starting to play by the time we were just shuffling up, which is a little annoying. But the way the game shaked out, I don't think it would have made a change. He wasn't like a slow player or anything, but he did take a while to get through his plays. It was just like, it was never egregious, I feel like, but our match ran kind of long. So game one, I lost because I was missing a piece. Things were just going not my way. And he went into the whole big OTK combo. I think that was the game where I had double Central in security. And like Central is the card that I need to see, right?
Yep.
A lot of these early games, I was having trouble seeing Central, where I was always seeing Kaguya. So my split is 4 Central, 2 Kaguya, as you could probably expect. And it was just like Kaguya was always showing up, but Central didn't want to play for like the first couple games that I had. And it was just like, man, this is really frustrating because I totally am presenting game right now if I just had Central instead of Kaguya. So I had a situation actually So this isn't the one where I bricked. What ended up happening was I was presenting game. He had 4 security. One of them was a face-up Amethyst Mandala, and 3 were face down. And my board was 4 total bodies. I had Kaguya and then like 3 level 4s. So my plan was I'm gonna double alliance with Kaguya, double alliance with my 2 other bodies on the board. His security was negged a bunch, so I'm not really worried about dying in security. And then I had Nyabu in hand, and I'll overclock for game. Right, no problem. Doesn't matter what he kills off the face-up Amethyst Mandala. Problem is, when I went to swing, I hit Amethyst Mandala on my Sistermon that was swinging that happened to be exactly 9k. And so that first check, he melted it with Amethyst, and now I'm 1 check short of gaming him. And that's kind of like the story of the game for this matchup was like, I would be ahead, I'd be ready to pop off, and then I would hit something face down in security that would just screw me, usually Amethyst Mandala. Or like there was a situation where I was forced to use Kaguya is not a Yume. As soon as something is deleted, she forces the trigger. And at one point I lost her off of it because Amethyst Mandala then protects, and I was already under a DP neg from something else he had done during his turn, some option he played, or possibly off of Talmon's effect, I don't remember. But so we kind of had back and forth games. He won game 1, I won game 2, and then game 3 was really awkward because when they called time, we both had empty boards with stuff and raising. He had just ruin moded me, so he was at 4 security and I was at 5. And if the other rules were in effect, I would have won there because I had more security, but whatever. It is what it is. So unfortunately, I walked away from that with a tie, but I try not to let it get me down because I'm like, okay, like if I go 1 loss and a tie, that's great. That puts me like really in a really good spot. Plus, tying your first match puts you in that really weird bracket where you're playing against people who have either ties or losses. And so it means that your bracket run might actually be a little easier. And that was evidenced by my second round opponent who was playing Invisimon. No,
Yeah, that's you would rather have a lot, especially early, a tie over a loss like that, because it means you still get a point instead of 0 points, and that matters at the end of the day. But if you have like a weird record where you're like where yours is X2-1, now you're like, damn, if that was a win, I just make top 16. This is not even a question. So it's like a weird mixed bag of situation when it comes to ties.
Yeah, for sure. So not to say that my Invisi opponent was bad, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I rolled him over because I had everything. My deck is faster than Invisimon. He was playing the Invisimon with the Justimon Blitz arm and Excel arm. So the idea here, if you're unaware, is that you flip a face-up security, you swing with Invisimon, Invisimon goes into security, you have a suspended level 5 on the board, now you can go into Justimon who unsuspends himself, and then you can combo off with the other Justimon arm effects and just go for like a whole big bunch of damage. Potentially game, I don't know, I've never played it out. He didn't get a chance to do that. So game 1, he goes first and he opens Emblem. So he goes Emblem, he has no rookie. I'm like, okay, so I do my rookie in the back, I play 2 trainings, pass my turn. He goes Emblem, still no rookie, Emblem again. And I'm just like, oh, like he's got nothing. So I pass him to 1, playing my Searcher Shumon. I have everything in my hand, but I know that he's not pushing out next turn because he didn't even put a rookie in raising. I'm like, as long as the Shumon's not removed, I'm going to OTK him from 5 because I'm going to have a free extra body so that can swing, and I have everything that I need in my hand, and that's exactly what happened. He never ended up getting anything on the board that game. I just OTK'd him from 5, and he was like, man, I've never been blown out of the water this bad by puppets before. He's like, I haven't played against it that much, but like, I didn't know it was this crazy. I was like, yeah, man, I can just win from nowhere.
Did he mulligan for that hand, or he kept that hand? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I really don't remember.
It's like, that. There's a balls of keys to go. I mean, I understand, but like, at least double Emblem opening with no rookie, like.
Well, the third Emblem he grabbed off of the second Emblem search, so like, it's crazy that he didn't see a rookie until that third Emblem. Like that's just unlucky variance. We've all been there.
For
Game
sure.
2 was a little more back and forth. We both had things going on, and I had the situation again where I saw Kaguya in my hand, but couldn't find Central really early. And he ended up ending a turn with an Espimon on field and an Invisimon. But he didn't do any damage yet. He just, like, he did 1 damage, and then, like, 3 of my security was face up at this point. And I'm like, if I leave that Invisimon on the board, he's going to do 2 checks, because it's the new Invisi. Then he's going to probably go into a Justimon, unsuspend. If he goes an Excelarm, that's another 2 checks. I might just be dead. So I'm thinking, like, I cannot leave that on the board. So I had a bunch of resources set up at this point, but again, I didn't have Central. So what I ended up doing was going into Kaguya and using Karakuru's effect. The way the layering of effects works is very interesting here. Karakuru kills the familiar. Her whole effect resolves first, so Kaguya evolves. Familiar's minus 3k then resolves after Kaguya's on the board and sees Espimon get deleted from it, which then removes the Invisimon. And then with him having an empty board, it just allowed me to win the following turn. And I was like, yeah, I figured if I left Invisimon on the board, I lose. And he's like, yeah, I had everything at that point. So he was really chill about it. Like that first game that he beat me, he's like, I can't even be mad because I had 3 emblems. I was about to do everything for free. Like I can't even be mad that you
He
from 5. So he was also like fishing for the Altea, which he finally got in that last draw or whatever. So cool, whatever. So I'm 1 win and a tie right now, feeling okay. Let me pull up my list because I don't remember off the top of my head. Okay. My next round was against TS Slop. I call it Slop because it wasn't blue base and it wasn't Jupiter focused. So he's running Neptunes, he's running Venuses, he's running Minervas. And a Maruki. There was definitely at least 1 Maruki in there. So mostly the the Megazoo style Olympus 12 deck. Game 1 is the game I lost, so I won this match 2-1. He goes first, he Evo's in the back, Evo's in Aegyo. I do some setup, I do like a rookie and then like a training or an emblem, and like I play a searcher or something. He raises Aegyo, adds his security hand, plays Homeros. He looks at his hand, he's like thinking about math, he's looking at everything. Slams Old Venus for 13, then taps Homeros to use her effect. And I'm looking at my hand, I'm thinking about my deck, and I'm like, I don't think Puppets outs this at all. Like, I don't think I have an answer. Like, straight up, I can't remove Venus if I don't have when digivolving and when attacking effects. Like, my only on plays are like Karakuru, which lets me Evo, or if I can get out a Kaguya and then kill 1 body and then kill the other. But I didn't have Kaguya. So I'm like, all right, I have 9 memory to work with. I do have 1 or 2 trainings on board. My play, I think, here is to just hard slam some stuff and try to chip with Central Alliance. Like, because at least I can do 1 check every turn if I'm under sec -1. I'm not removing his board, I'm not doing much, but like, what else am I doing here? Like, I don't have Kaguya, I don't have any other searching pieces in my hands. I was gonna go for it. And it ended up not really working for me. I got like my 1 chip damage. He did something, and then I was in a situation where I couldn't pass him more than 4 memory so that I could turn off the Homeros. So he just ended up doing it again, and then removing my whole stuff the next turn with I think new Venus and then Neptune. I get another Homeros down on the board, and it just kind of spiraled out of control from there, and I couldn't really do anything. So I took that L, and then round 2 and 3 went much better for me. I popped off very fast game 2. I like opened Reduction Shoe emblem, and I had the world, so I just went off and did everything. And then game 3 he kind of bricked because he went first, and his play was Aegyo for 5. And I was like, okay, cool, there's lots I can do here. And I ended up winning out from there. That one had a very interesting moment, actually, where he built a stack with Minerva I had, again, Central just didn't want to show up. And so I was on a Kaguya. So he had a board. He goes into Minerva. I was protected because I had played Namake. So I couldn't BD Digivolve off Minerva. He goes into Ruin mode, wipes all my stuff, then Kaguya effect. I used my on deletions of my tokens to get rid of his other bodies, and then Kaguya effect, kill Ruin mode. So now I'm under negative 10,000. I'm at 4 memory. And he's at 1 security. It's the face up Abyss Sanctuary. So I know I have a free swing here, so I swing Kaguya out. And my hand is literally, I have the answer if I have just 1 more memory. Because that Kaguya didn't have the egg, so I couldn't gain a memory off of it. But all I needed was 1 more memory, because then I could have done Nyabu on top for 4, and then slam Central for 11, because she's a 12k, so she'll live the negative 10 blanket, and I can overclock kill Central for game. But I couldn't. Fortunately, though, he just did not have a follow-up the following turn. So I remember when I hit the Sanctuary, he played his Searcher out, and then I ended up passing turn by playing anything from my trash, which instantly died from Kaguya's, from the negative 10, and then Kaguya's effect killed his body, so now he has an empty board, and he just didn't have anything to come back with, so it's not like he could climb or anything like that. So I took that one 2-1. That was a good match. I had a very frustrating match next time against Vortextramon. So I lost this one 1-2, unfortunately. Game 1 was a very awkward game because my opponent tried to use both Hidden Potential Discovered and Scramble to go into a Vortextramon off his Grand Gale. Yeah.
I don't remember you telling me that one.
Yeah. So he was at 1 memory. He had a Mucho and a Grand Gale in the field, and that's it. He goes Hidden Potential Discovered. I'm like, great. Then he goes Green Scramble, and I'm like, okay. I move the memory marker to my side. Hidden Potential Discovered effect, suspend Mucho, go into Vortextramon. He draws a card, and I go, that's an illegal play, first of all. Not only is it an interesting play, but it's an illegal play because you don't have Shadow on the board. So you can't even warp right now. And he's like, oh, shoot. Like, he had already drawn at this point, and he's like, what do you want me to do? And I was like, I looked up, and the judge happened to be like 1 table away. So I just called the judge over. Judge comes over. He's like, well, it's not a game loss. And I'm like, I'm not asking for a game loss. It's just, this is what happened. What do you want him to do? So the judge ended up giving him a warning, and then he ended up scooping from there because he didn't have his Aphagamon to go into instead. So
but what happened though with the judge? He just told him to put the card back, and then
yep,
no Evo, and then HPD and Scramble do nothing because he decided to not use the HPD at that moment.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So he just passed me to 1, and then he ended up scooping it up because even if he had like tried to resolve Scramble, he didn't have anything to go into. And so I was presenting game on board at that point anyway. So I took the W there. And then game 2,
I'm just so confused. Like, why do you think that you're in a regional tournament and you think you can combo HPD and Scramble? That's interesting. That's the first one for me. Like,
you can do it. Like, okay, you could do it like if you were to do like the Quartzmon, like the 9-cost Evo Quartzmon, right? You could do like,
okay,
like off the, you could like green Scramble. No, because don't Scrambles have to be, you have to go green into green?
Right, but you have to do the Evo. You can't just like combo in with like HPD.
You can combo it with HPD because HPD is like a passive effect. HPD is a Wenwood.
Oh, is it? Okay.
HPD is not an effect. It's not an effect.
I've never heard of that ever happening. So I guess it's possible.
It is possible. It's weird because you wouldn't want to do it for Grand Gale because that means you're paying 2 instead of 1. So I don't know why you would want to do that, but oh, that was round 2. So I lost round 1. I remember what happened round 1. Round 1 or game 1 against him. Game 1, I underestimated it. I was missing pieces and I was just digging. And he ended up putting a Grand Gale on the board that I couldn't clear, but I was like, I should be okay. He doesn't have EX11 Shoto. He should be fine. I'm at 5 security. I don't think he can OTK me. So he goes into EX8. Zafagamon goes 2 checks, unsuspend off inherit. 2 more checks. He had just raised a rookie, so that's the 5th check. And now I'm like, okay, but he doesn't have EX11 Shoto. Unless he slams it from hand, I'm okay here. But what he ended up doing instead was slamming Kokatorimon, which says suspend myself, unsuspend my Zafaga, Zafaga may swing. So I ended up losing that. That was the game 1. So then I talked about game 2, and then game 3, I had the worst brick of the event. My hand was all 4s, and it was 2 4s. The
Continue talking. We're back.
Yeah, you're good. My hand ended up being 2 4s, the CL that digivolves, and a Kokeshi, the newest Karakuru, and 2 6s. I think it was both Sendroi and Kaguya. So I'm like, I'm going first because I had lost no, he went first, but I was like, I need to draw a rookie. Draw, no rookie. It's like another 6, I think, or even Yaboot. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to slam this Sistermon CL for 4, deleting his searcher that he played, and I'm just going to leave this thing on the board. I'm never going to swing with it, because if he uses any of his effects to suspend it, then I get a free Digivolve, and hopefully this slows him down so I can do stuff. His hand was also kind of wacky, because at some point he ended up dropping Zafaga Ace for 8, which I was able to answer the following turn, but like it was so weird. Like I had to do raise my rookie, like hard slam Karakuru, kill something, do all this stuff. Like I had to just like jump through hoops to get it, and then I ended up passing turn by going into my 1 of Nyaboot, which by the way is my Vortex answer, and he ended up establishing a Vortex later that I could not get rid of then after that, which sucked. But he did another interesting play. He goes Grangalmon effect. He gets to play out. There was enough suspending things on the board at this point for him to play up to, let's say, 4K or 5K, maybe, whatever. He plays BT1 Birdramon, who is a bird or avian or whatever. It has the right trait, and says, on play, give one of my Digimon Sec +1. I go, oh, that's a really cool tech. Can I see that for a second? And I pick up his Grangale, and I read the card, and I put it back down, and I go, Grangale specifies that it must be a green bird, avian, whatever. I wonder how many people he got with this tech, because both Grangale and Zafaga specify green bird.
Right.
Like, how long has he been running this BT1 Birdramon? Like, I mean, if you can slam it for 4, great, because I'm pretty sure it's only a 4-drop.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a 4-drop Sec +1. Like, any way you can get Sec +1 in Zafaga is pretty good, right? So, but I'm like, wait a second here. So what I should have done was say, you just played that for 4 and now it's my turn. But I didn't think about it at the time, and I'm not going to do that. But
rule sharking people.
Right. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. Instead, I was just like, this is an illegal play. So, all right. So I ended up losing that, unfortunately. I couldn't get over Zafaga anymore, and my hand was just kind of garbage the whole match. So, unfortunately, you take the L. Next round, I'm like, okay, now I just need to never lose again, and I'll be fine. Next round, I played against Styrakomon, and I'll give you a quick little spoiler for this event. I played 3 total Styrakomons, and I went 2-0 against all Styrakomons. Now, mind you, I'm starting to get near the less good side of the bracket at this point, so maybe these are players who are not as good with Styraco as some of the ones that are at top tables. But regardless, I think Puppets has a pretty good matchup in this Styraco, because I can use their tokens for my effects if I want to. A lot of the times sometimes what'll happen is they'll make a token on my side of the board, and now I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to use Karakura to do that. And then they'll go, okay, Styraco effect kill you. I'll be like, yeah, but now I'm at protection, so it doesn't really matter for me. They also like to build kind of a wide board off of their effects, because they'll play a body off of the removal of security, and that's just another familiar token I get. Interestingly, the matchup can go the other way as well, because Medusamon's allowed to protect herself by deleting put tokens on your opponent's side of the field. So a lot of the time what'll end up happening is you'll neg Medusa to death, and then Medusa will just clear all your familiar tokens out to try and protect itself. Obviously, the protection will fail because she'll still be at 0 DP, but hey, she removes all your familiar tokens on the board. So it's a very interesting matchup. It's very fun to play. I think every time I've played against Medusumon, it's been a fun match because I always have like weird ways that I interact with the tokens. Like, I don't know if you remember the case tournament a couple of times ago when I played Genku and I had immune blocker petrification tokens on my side of the board. Very funny. Very, very funny. This Styrakomon player never found Crimson Blaze, so he was never able to slow me down for a turn. I remember one game he had a very interesting turn. The game had been going on for quite some time at this point. I had removed several Medusas. There was at least 1 or 2 in security. And I'm at none security. And I'm like, shit. I'm just going to put up a blocker. And if he gets over it, he gets over it and I lose, right? Now, the way to get my blocker up was that I hard slammed new Karakuru, which says play a 4K or less puppet from hand or trash without paying the cost. So I play Namakemon to give her blocker. And then Namakemon dies, because whatever you play out dies at the end of your turn. And my man's doesn't have Medusa, so he has no way to pop it. I have no security, so he ends up going into Styrako to set up a blocker of his own, because he had no security at this point as well. And he can't kill me. He can't pop Karakuru because I don't have any security to burn. So it's always an awkward position as a Medusa player when you're forced to go into Styrako and your opponent is already at 0 security, because now it feels like this card's not actually doing all that much for me.
That's the funniest part. Like, sometimes the best place you want to be against Medusa is at 0 security.
Sometimes, yeah, honestly. But as a result, like I said, I think the matchup is a little favored in Puppet's favor, because then I can very easily neg Styrakomon to death. He puts, if they put any petrification tokens on the board, those are considered my Digimon, so that's another 3k that I get on my effect. So yeah, I just melt Styrakomon and Medusumons like it's nothing a lot of the time. So I won that one 2-0, no problem really. The next round was my final loss of the event, unfortunately. I lost to Jupitermon 0-2. So this was a really rough match for me. He found the nuts really fast. I made one misplay in this game. Now, realistically, I don't think it really changed things too much, but I didn't realize that Nori was on the field. And I was like, oh, if I just remove this guy, he'll play an Aegiomon out, and I don't really care if he negs himself another security. Not remembering that when he does that, the Inori is all turns, and he'll be able to get a free Aegiokus out of it. And then Aegiokus ended up removing some of my stuff on the field, which I could have used. And I was just like, damn. Like, misplay, but it is what it is. He found stuff really fast. Game 1 was kind of a grindier match, but like I got him down to 0 security, and then he did the Jupitermon thing where he just recovered back up to 3, and I just couldn't close the game out, unfortunately. And then game 2, he had the nuts. He did like the pop off turn of like immediately having like everything he needs to go bop all the way up. Get the 2 checks, go into Jupiter. He ends on 3 security. I think he even had like a Minerva out. Like, he had everything. He had the world. And I was just like, I'm cooked here. Like, I can't really do anything. So I took that loss. And then Dan at this point was X2 as well. And I was like, Dan's going to keep playing it out, so I'll just keep playing it out. Maybe there's a chance I somehow bubble into 16th. And whatever. I'll take the top 32 prizing, right? So, plus, it's not like we were going to leave the venue until Dan's run was over, right? So, like, my choices are either go to the bar and drink with Lewis, or like stand around and play video games on my handheld or whatever. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna play it out. It's fine. This will be good intel if I decide to play Puppets again for a future event, which I may, because honestly, the deck is cracked. Like, right? We all know this. So I played 2 Styrakos in a row, and shout out, I know you're listening to this, Jordan. Nice to meet you. I got to meet one of the fans of the podcast. He was really cool. He was like, you're DGU?
Shit, my early comments is not about you. Just letting you know. My early comments not about you. Let me stop.
No. Really nice dude. Apparently he's like, I recognize your voice so well, but I usually just listen to the podcast. because I do DoorDash all the time. So I'm always driving around, like I'm always in my car. So I'm always hearing your voice, but I'm not super familiar with your face. Maybe he listens on like the Spotify or whatever our podcast.
Yeah, probably the Spotify.
Right.
That's what we have it on.
Or like a lot of the time when I listen back to the podcast, I'll put it on the YouTube, but I'm obviously not looking at it because I'm driving or whatever, like doing other stuff. So whatever. But really nice guy. He was on Styrakomon. He was the only Styrakomon player I played against today to have Crimson Blazon security. So he shut down one of my lethal lines, but he wasn't able to come back after that. I went at one point in the game, I had a really fun interaction for me, not for him, where he ended up giving me 7 memory because he ended up playing Medieval Gallantmon. So he removed my board, and now Medieval Gallantmon's a tricky puzzle to play around sometimes, especially in puppets. When all my effects are like, okay, I really need to have 2 bodies that I play out so that I can get my effects. And fun fact, Medieval will actually interrupt your combo play if you play a body off of Mirai. Same thing with fighter mode. So I'm just going to touch on this really quick because I taught my Imperial Dramon player that I played in the last round this, and maybe I'll teach you, the viewer. So the main puppet combo, right, is to evolve into Karakuru. Karakuru will, evolve into Kokeshi. Kokeshi will play your Mirai out, and then evolve into Karakuru. Before you resolve Karakuru's effect to delete one of your guys, you trigger Mirai to bottom deck her and play out usually a level 3, so that's for 0 cost. And then you'll return to Karakuru's when digivolving to sack that, whatever you played out, so that you can get the free Evo into Central or Kaguya. Cool. What ends up happening is that when you go Mirai effect, the body you play out is now a new trigger. And this is triggering 2 things at the same time. Your on play and medieval or fighter modes when a Digimon is played. Since their effects are you may, if they chose not to activate those effects yet, they can save it for that moment and then bottom deck or delete your Karakuru, and now you're kind of behind. So just keep that in mind. Don't get outplayed by a puppet player because you weren't aware of your triggers, and it is a you may, so you can totally just miss that, right? It could totally just be like, yeah, you chose not to activate it during the Karakuru effect. So just be aware of that. Okay, most puppet players are not going to stop and say, would you like to remove my stack now? So just keep that in mind, medieval and fighter mode fans. Okay, so what ended up happening was he put me to 7 memory, and I played Shumon for a search. I get my search, and this was 1000% a bait. And he fell for it. So he used Medieval's effect to remove it. Now I don't have to worry about Medieval for the rest of the game, or for the rest of the turn. Spoiler alert for the rest of the game, but for the rest of the turn, I don't have to worry about Medieval. So I'm at 4 total memory. So I play Reduction Shumon for 3. I can now go into, I had an emblem on the board already. So I go Kokeshi for 1, play a Mirai, trigger emblem. I get all the way into Central, I melt Medieval, and then I ended on Nyabu and melted his Medusa that was also on the board. And so now he has an empty board and he has nothing to come back with. And I just kind of finished the game the following turn. And then game 2, he bricked pretty bad, I think. I don't remember what piece he was looking for, but I remember how I just kind of cleared security and didn't worry about anything he was doing. At one point, I think this was the game where I did like I did like 1 check and then stopped because I was like, I don't want to give you resources. Mainly, I don't want to hit Dimetro out so that you can warp. He raises Eliza and then plays Crimson Blaze. And I had like 3 familiar tokens on the field somehow. And I'm just like, yeah, that's going to kill the Eliza. And now you're starting from nothing. And I just had to wait a turn to win, basically, since I can't play things by effect. So that was that. Then I played against another Styrakomon player the following game. I don't really think there's that much to talk about that we haven't already said about Styrako and the Styrako matchup at this point. Nothing special happened during this game, I feel like. I went really fast pretty much both games. Even when he did establish a Medusa or a Styrako, I just melted it. Basically, if you are a Styrakomon or Medusamon player, you need to OTK the Puppets player. Otherwise, their crackback is just going to be really strong. So that's what ended up happening. And then final round of the event, I'm a little bit nervous at this point because I'm like, man, if I can just win this last game, there's a chance that I can make it into top 16. And Dan was still X2, so it's like, man, it would be really cool if we could see 2 DGU tags in the top 16. So
hell yeah.
I was trying for it. Unfortunately, I didn't get there. I did win this match, but it was against Blue Green Imperial. And she was really cool. She was really nice. Game 1, she made a pretty dire misplay. She ended up doing turn 0. She went Vmon in the back and then play Searcher Vmon. I just set up my stuff, and then she raised, swung both Vmons, who both died, and then she didn't have any tamer to play. She tried to play Jade Memory Boost, and she's like, oh wait, I don't have any colors on the board, and she just had to hard pass. Like, that was really her only play. So she hard passed, and then I OTK'd from there. Game 2, I was a little slow. I feel like I didn't find my stuff well. And she had Davis and Ken early. She did the thing. The deck is really fast, especially with the new fighter mode, because that's a guaranteed 4 checks no matter what it goes on top of, basically. So she just kind of blew me up, and I didn't really get to do anything. And then last game, I had an interesting situation where she actually did something really cool, actually, in game 2, where I had a suspended Central on the board because I had done like a check or something. And she swung her Pyodramon into it. And then she triggered Primogenitor to go into fighter mode for free, get the unsuspend, get a bottom deck, and be able to still do stuff. So pretty cool. The suicide play, very neat. Game 3, what ended up happening is she had to build another stack like that where she Primogenitor into the Pyel. And then I went for my pop-off play. I negged Pyodramon 12,000. She goes into fighter mode off of Primogenitor effect. She's like, looking at my board. I have like 4 bodies on board at this point, like a token, a 3, a 4, and Central. And she's looking at my board. She's thinking about her effect of fighter mode. And she's like, crap. I'm going to die anyway, aren't I? And I'm like, yep, because right now you're going to be a 1000 DP fighter mode. If you try to remove Central, I'm going to kill my familiar token instead, which will finish you off, or I'm just going to overclock at the end of turn and get rid of you. And that's basically what ended up happening. And she was too slow to rebuild after that. She didn't have the Daken set up. So I ended up taking it from there and finishing out my day with 6 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. Top 32, got my prizing. It was a fun time. I had a good time at the event. Like I said, I wish I could have. I feel like the Sakuyamon match I could have won, but the Jupitermon, there was no chance. Like, even if I didn't make that misplay, he had the nuts like both games. I don't think there was any way I was winning that game, straight up. And the Vortex thing, definitely could have won that one as well if I just didn't brick. Like, honestly, I feel like Puppets is a pretty good matchup into Vortex. You have Nyaboot to out it. If you want to run Sistermon Steel Awakened, my current list does not, but that's another way that you can deal with it for a turn. So it's like, if I didn't brick against Vortex, but, you know, if I didn't brick is a common occurrence in card games, right? If I didn't brick, I could have won. So it is what it is. We'll get them next time, boys. Dan, why don't you talk about your 13th place run?
Yes, sir, will do. But before I go on my long soliloquy on my regional run, I want to make two quick points. Point number 1. I am impressed on how much FM does for that deck, so much so that Imperial Jamon is consistently topping. I just figured because...
It even won one.
Yeah, it's won, and since 81, it has topped every single event.
Who knew that one card would do that much?
Pyojamon helps as well. Just
2
having
cards, 2 cards, sorry. Yeah.
A second really good, DNA target for the deck that also has partition, which matters. But like, I just did not think, because Pyojamon still has the same issues. Like, we know our boy Lewis went through it. Man always saw one or the other champion and there could do anything with it. But like, if you see it and you just get to the FM, sometimes it's just win. It's just a win button at that point, which is quite impressive, honestly, for the deck. I didn't think it would be able to do all that, but it can, and it's pretty crazy to when you get on the board. Because when you get on the board, it's kind of like
that floodgate
obviously it's a
effect
floodgate.
is mean.
Obviously it's a floodgate, but man, if he was like, you know, a crazy boss monster that you have to deal with because of the floodgate, like how do you play around like Magna X style, in the sense where it's like, oh, I gotta think about how do I play around this, because I can't just play my game normally or I'm gonna get effed up.
Right.
And some decks just can't out it in that sense, right? Like Puppets is very hard once it gets set up prior to you popping off for you to deal with it. Same with many other decks in this game. So I guess that's why, you know, it's doing really well. Second point I want to make. This is something I noticed at this regional, and you don't really see it a lot in other card games. Shout out to all the women that played at the regional. I think it was just so awesome to see that women be able to enjoy the game, and anyone who's from the LGBTQ plus, right? I think that's what it is. Community that enjoy this game, because I love that our community is very embraces anyone who's willing to join.
Very inclusive.
That's the word, yes. Very inclusive. Because I've seen other card games where it's not inclusive at all in that sense, and it was just awesome to see. Because I played against a girl in the last round who was trying to get top 16. You did as well. I saw a variety of a woman playing as well. Like it wasn't just like one or two people. It was probably like a good like.
There's at
10,
least 3 or 4
15.
to 5 at top tables, like at the end of the event, which is awesome.
At top tables as well. It was like you just mentioned, like 4 to 5. So I just think that's awesome. I'm happy for they feel good. They feel safe enough to go to these regionals where, you know, a male dominated thing, and they can play and feel good and enjoy their time and compete and stuff like that.
Yeah, super cool.
Shout out to our community. We have the best community in the game, bar none, in my opinion. So it's awesome to see. So back to my visual run. Like I mentioned prior, I made 0 changes. I just changed my sleeves. So I went into it confident as I should be, because I was just a tad bit nervous because of the bricks I've been having, because I had them quite a bit in the online regional, and then like throughout the week when I was playing like the KO tournament, the knockout tournaments that we run, I was having some bad bricks as well. So I was a little nervous in that aspect, but I was like, as long as I see my pieces, I'm good to go. As long as I get this round 1 to win, I'm good to go, I feel like. So,
momentum, man.
Mashed. Yeah, I sure am. Not potential, man. I am momentum, man.
Yep, momentum.
For sure. So round 1, boom, sit down, cross the guy I was playing against. You're right. I didn't like think about it until now, since you mentioned it. The back tables were definitely thinner this way versus the ones on top, because
Definitely.
I was at a lot of the top tables for most of the day, and I noticed there was definitely a bigger space in between than it was in the back one. So now that you mentioned it, I was like, yeah, our maps were definitely all close together, and it was just funny how that worked.
Oh wait, before you go off, I had so many of my tables happened to be the end, and I was like, this is the best. Like I had the end like 4 or 5 like rounds, like straight up. It was awesome.
Also, another shout out real quick. Shout out to all the fans that came up that said hi to me as well, and said hi to Gino as well. It was cool to see y'all. Cool. You know what we look like. Pesky, this is for you. You know what we look like, so you can come say hi.
Find us.
And don't just be DMing me the whole time and you don't know where I am. You know, I'm a busy man.
No, I'm just messing.
But next time, Pesky, I got you. Whenever we go to a regional, we'll make sure to say what's up. But yeah, anyone who did say what's up and stuff, it was cool to see y'all. Cool to interact with y'all as well. And anyone who I met as well there. So back to regional talk. Round 1, I think the guy went first. He hatched a blue egg, and then he dropped a red-yellow Takuya. Was a Takuya Koji tamer. So at first I'm like, this must be like a red hybrid deck, because that's what I immediately thought of. But then I started seeing, because he went to Uko, he searched, and then I saw the blue hybrid stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, this is blue hybrid. So Angar, Venusmon top end with the new Beowulfmon. New Beowulfmon is just as good as all the mon to an extent, but just different. It just doesn't have that
Well,
power.
I don't know
Just
if I'd
doesn't have
say
the power.
just
Doesn't have the
as good.
power, but I think it's a good card though.
It's a very good card. Yeah.
So he does his thing, goes into the Beowulf, swings, does some stuff, sets up tamers, does some cool things. I was like, all right, cool. I got everything. Let's just go raise. We're gonna go insane, pop off. We play Moon, we kill his tamers, and then that was basically it. For game one. Game two, same thing almost. So the only thing on game two, I was missing a Wicked God. I didn't see Moon, and he checked security. And my third or fourth security was a Moon Millie, which that was like his downfall basically, because I made a slight mistake here. So I decided to get greedy because no matter what, it was going to be the same play of swings of damage I was going to do regardless. I should have went like did a pop off play, whatever it was, playing promo or insane, whatever it was, get promo out, kill itself, play Moon. I instead swing with my rookie or whatever it was I was able to swing, and that gave him an extra tamer. And that almost cost me the game because he ended up having 3 tamers on board. And if I didn't keep de-digivolving his one stack, he would have had another tamer with the unleashing effect of like Strabimon, I think it was. I was straight underneath it. And so I should have really played Moon first, trash that top security, and then like play it out. But obviously, like one of those like hindsight 50-50 type of things. And so it is what it is. So I was able to kill 2 tamers. He had an analog youth and 2 of the triple tamers. So I killed both tamers because what are you gonna do with analog youth? What are you gonna do with analog youth with nothing to, play off of it?
Yeah.
I noticed one thing as well in that matchup. I'm not sure because he mentioned it. That he doesn't really play analog youth that often, but he kept going analog youth and then bottom decking his cards instead of trashing them. And I was like, wait, because the first time it happened, it was game 1. It came out of security. He went search top 3, grabbed and goes like Venusmon, and he immediately put back 2 other Digimon. I was like, because I'm about to do combo. I'm just like, I know there's more cards in there. What happened? I was like, where's your cards at? And he says, what do you mean? Analog you trash your cards, you don't just put them underneath. And then he was like, oh, okay. And then he grabs both of them underneath, and then I was like, yeah, those are the 2 cards you reveal, so they go to the trash. And so he was like, all right, my fault. And so that happens again in game 2. I was like, he plays it and he's about to do, I was like, hold up hold up, this matters for me, buddy. Like, I need to top deck your stuff. Obviously I didn't tell him that part, but like I know in my head, like I know what analog youth is such an old car. How do you not know that it immediately trashes? But it is what it is for someone who may or may not have played analog youth often in his decks.
I feel like we've all done it before. I'm accidentally go to bottom deck the cards. It was like, oh wait, yep.
And so, because of the Moon killing 2 tamers, I passed turn, give him like 2 security, something like that, and he just couldn't out it. He tries to do like an Angar play, a hard play in it, and then have something, but then again he does a thing where he goes, because he went to a Lobo. I think he hard drops. No. The play prior, I think it was, before I do that, he goes, I think, Strabi into the promo Lobomon, the one that's at 1 of, and then Evo's into Angar, and then he leaves it on board, and I'm just like, doesn't that die? He's like, die from what? I was like, Lobomon. And then he checks, he's like, oh yeah, it does. So he does his plays, does a thing, and then he's like, I guess that's game. I was like, yeah, because he got nothing on board basically at that point. And so I ended up packing up pretty quickly. So again, like like Gino mentioned, like momentum, like great. Round 1's in the bag. I'm good. I feel good. I'm comfortable now. Let's start rolling. And that's basically what happens for a while, right? So round 2, I play Medusa. This Medusa player was shout out to Mr. Nats winner Lance with Gallimon back in the day. That was his round 1 opponent. He ended up losing to him, I think like 1-2 or something like that, or 0-2. Didn't see his Jupitermon, something like that, and he ended up losing. So I was like, yo, Lance, I got you. I'm gonna get your revenge. And round one goes, I lose game one. I was like, God damn, here we go again. I run to Medusa. I know what to do against it, but I just don't see the right pieces. Um, and so I'm like, all right, let's, wash it. That's a wash. And he doesn't like OTK me either. And so to me in my head, I'm like, all right, he didn't go for the kill when he could have. I don't know if he's inexperienced or not, or he just doesn't know how to fully capitalize on the OTK of the deck. And I'm like, I got a chance with this. I think I have a chance with this even because of that reasoning. He's not going to know what to do too well if I pop off and I put him in a situation where he needs to make the comeback potentially. And so game two happens. He does his thing. I have Chitose. I have everything. I pop off. And just as kind of expected, he doesn't have no comeback to it. He used all his resources for that play, and he just had nothing to make the comeback with. Game three happens. Game three, I'm a little slow at the gates, but he's also slow in the sense of he doesn't have, I think, Medusumon early. And so he ends on boards with like Lamia and like Dimetro or something like that. And so I just clear board because raid, retail, we just run into the Lamia and I'll deal with the Dimetro in a different way, which I end up doing with like the Delta, something like that. Right. But we get to this weird situation where I think like 2 turns in a row, he Crimson Blades me. And I'm just like, okay. I mean, sure, like, doesn't really do anything for you right here, but great for me. Waste your Crimson Blazes while I'm just resetting, And so I think it's like 2 turns of it in a row or something like that. And he's like starts building up again. And I'm like, all right, whatever. He puts me down with 1 security, but he never is able to deal with my last security because he never had the Rush Owen, I think it is. And so, not Rush Owen, the one that's end attack Owen. And so he could never like attack. He would get to the Medusa, but like end turn on that. And then he gets to the point of he plays Raging Serpentine. I think he does it twice. I think I hit it twice. I hit 1 security and 1 from his hand or something like that. So I'm going combo. I get BT 18 milli. I swing 2 checks. First check is it was at the Styraco, and then the option, I think that's what it was. I hit Styraco. I'm like, all right, cool. So we bomb deck 2. We play promo pops itself. We get back to BT 18 milli again. We swing. Next check, effing effing Raging Serpentine. I'm like, great, fantastic. I have 1 more BT 18 milli and have promo and trash, obviously. But instead of wasting that turn, because I wanted to make sure I kill him, because I think I had Moon Millie at this point on board, or Z or something like that. I just knew I couldn't kill him. So I was like, all right, I'm going to not waste the resource right now, and I'll waste the next turn. So like I played the option or something like that. I put him down to like 1 or 2 security with like a couple memory and nothing on board. And then that ended up just winning me the game the following turn. It was like super clutch because I was like going to time almost at that point, and because that was a grindy game. And also he was running something I was not expecting, the Flame Dramon, the promo Flame Dramon. I feel like back in the day people used to run it because Medusa didn't have cards really in the deck. Sure. So like now you kind of don't need it. But I saw that, I was like,
that's the one that raid and then you add a card to your hand, right?
Yeah, from your opponent's security.
Yeah, it's a bummer, so like, because I get like, it's a 3-cost Evo. You get no inherit. Like, it's cute, but I don't know if it's great.
Yeah, so I looked at it, I'm just like, all right, sure, whatever. So cool, boom, I beat my first Medusa. That's kind of also good for the psyche for me because that is the hardest matchup, arguably the hardest matchup. I'm not scared of it at all, but it's definitely the hardest matchup for me because I need to make sure I have to be on my P's and Q's for it, make sure I see what I need to see, and so on. Next round, I play against Jupitermon, TS Jupiter, and then it winning out 2-1. So game 1, I get cooked again. I make a major blunder where I have emerges on board. I have a Z Millenniumon in hand, and I play out promo. I deal whatever he has on board. I think it was like a small body, but I just want to set up promo. I just want to set up Millenniumon going. My mistake was not going emerges, killing it, go into Z to have Z chilling on board. Reason why I didn't do it was because 1, I only saw like regular Jupiter stuff. I didn't know he had a mix with like Minerva, and I think he might have had one Venus if I remember correctly. I know he has Minerva in the deck, but I only saw Jupiter at this point. So I'm like, all right, this is just strictly Jupiter. Promo Millie, if he tries to pop, I just retaliate with his effect, and then I make a board. I also didn't have BT18 Millie in my hand. I had another promo Millie, so I figured we'll just deal with it when it comes around. So I don't do merges. Like 99% of the time, you're gonna want to do merges to get out of Zeta Moon. So I figured this one time, I think I'll be all right. I overthought about the plays when I should just went Z and just autopilot that part out and call it a day. Because what he does is he was a really good pilot with his deck. He was doing a lot of like the effects of like breeding effects, not breeding, the when moving effects. He would get into his Agio Juice and then like swing back his memory because you have like the Dan cannons plus the Homerosis setup. Like he was doing the good combos like where a good Jupiter player would do. And so he did that going to Minerva. I was like, F. We're gonna bring it down to Millenniumon. Millenniumon doesn't do anything on his own, and so he ends up poking me in that game straight up because I think he goes into ruin mode or something like that. I know he makes a second stack immediately because Minerva played out Lekmon. He evoed to Agio, Inori, going to Agio, choose something like that. And he just swung out because it was the rush one or something like that. Like he popped off that one turn or something like that. And I was like, I had no comeback because that was the only Millenniumon I had in my hand at that point or something like that. I don't remember. No, I had one in my hand. There was something with it that I couldn't do much with it. I just don't remember. I think I just immediately passed turn, and I don't remember right now. Maybe I was missing a Millenniumon period, and that's why I did what I did. I don't remember fully right now. And so he ends up getting that one, and then game 2 he's slow at the gates, but I have all gas, and so I basically just win that one out. Game 3 becomes a back and forth. He gets a ruin mode out, and I go. I deal with the ruin mode. I digivolve it with promo, pop it, deal his board, and then we get to a point where I almost goofed. He got allowed it to let me do the play. I go emerges to pop my Millenniumon because I already knew I had full combo, full game. I almost forgot to play my Z Millie, and he goes, "Where's your Z? Where's your where God?" I was like, "Right here." And so,
that's funny.
He definitely could have rule sharked it, and me getting stuck not playing it. But he was a good sport about it, and he was like, "I'm not gonna, win like that. So just continue doing what you're doing." So I was like, "All right, I appreciate it." So I ended up just winning. I think even let's say he did say, you can't play that. You have to, it's like everyone knows you're playing something out off the merges. I just kind of like, not that I just autopilot and like thought I played it out because I had it in my hand, and so I just like forgot, and like I was like, all right, on deletion, do whatever. I think I still would have been fine regardless.
Theoretically, you can choose not to. You can just get it for the deletion, correct. Or like if you don't have anything.
You can. And so he allowed to go through and end up winning with that. That guy was cool dude. We ended up exchanging like discords and shit. He's in the main phase TCG, so shout out to him. Great guy. Pretty cool. So we're 3-0. We're feeling great. We're at top tables. Round 4 comes around, playing as TS Neptunemon, or at least I think it was TS Neptune. I think it was more like TS Slop, but with blue egg, because I saw Sylphimons and stuff like that, but it was always Neptunemon he was going into for like the top end aggro plays, not Maruki. I think he had a Maruki still, regardless, if I remember correctly. Game 1, he goes into his plays. He does like the Sylphy DNA, swings out. He just so happens to swing into like Chitose, emerges, and then insane like back to back to back, because I remember how cracked my security was. He was just like, there ain't nothing I could do about that. I was like,
pretty much.
Yeah. I finally feel like Gino here with my
Shut the hell
cracked
up.
cracked
You're
ass
lucky
security.
I can't reach through the screen. Let me tell you.
That man be having the most gas security ever.
I
But it was
I didn't this event. The
Not
one
for this event.
Styraco player, I literally had 3 shoes in security. And I was just like,
no.
I mean, I was
There
so
was
far
many
ahead
games.
against him anyway, it didn't matter. But like most of the time, my security was just kind of whatever.
I'm pretty sure. I think in one of the games, one of the rounds I lost, it was just straight up Giza, Gazi. I was like, "Yep, this makes sense." But
Yuck.
we'll get there when we get there. And then, so he goes combo, that happens. So I just pop off and win. Then game 2 happens. This is where it was a little weird because like I felt bad, but not really. I'll explain what happens.
Dang.
I get a Zed Millie on board with a BC-18 Millie on board. And so next turn, and I think I had like something else on board. I might have been like Ghazi or Giza's because I was playing with the Chitoses. Like all I knew was like I got game next turn no matter what happens. And so he casts like 3 to 4 memory, whatever it is. He asks me, "Hey, does Millenniumon have protection?" I go, no protection. I just have my on deletion. I bombed that Chimera machine, play out Millenniumon from trash, right? And he asks after that, does he play promo? I was like, yeah, it's just Millenniumon in the name. So whatever Millenniumon I have in trash, I can't play, including itself, including promo. He's like, all right, cool. Shuffles, thinks, shuffle more. Hard drops Neptunemon. And he goes, I'm a bottom deck Millenniumon. I was like, no, you don't bottom deck Millenniumon. You bottom deck whatever has the least amount of sources. He's like, oh yeah, so I'll bottom Z Millenniumon. I was like, you can't. He was like, wow. I was like, Z Millenniumon is immune to all your effects.
Yep.
And he goes, no sources. Oh. And I go, look, you didn't ask about him. I assumed you knew because you didn't ask about it. Because I figured in today's game, I didn't say this part, but like in my head, in today's game, where Millenniumon is like a top tier deck, I would think that people would know at least the 3 top cards do, like Moon, Zed, and Millenniumon, right?
And if you don't, just like ask your opponent, hey, can I read this real quick? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like you see the shiny gold card, it does something good, you know? And so he doesn't ask about it. And I go, hey, look, you didn't ask about it. I just assumed you knew, basically. And so he was like, he looks at me. Like I could tell he got tired about it, but at the same time, he kind of was just like, no, you're right. That was fair. I was like, all right, cool. Like, it ain't on me, Chief, on that one, because you could have asked, no problem. I would have told you what it did. So once that happened, I kind of just OC'd him after that. And so I ended up winning 2-0. Like I mentioned before, and in that matchup, Zed is like important as AF because of that immunity where now everything is protected from Neptune because they can't bottom deck it at all, and they're forced to bottom deck the least amount of sources. So unless you have like, a Ghazi or another Digimon has no sources, obviously that'll get bottom deck, but like, who cares at that point?
Right.
And ended up taking that one. So again, I'm feeling great now. 4 rounds. That was starting out 4-0. Round 5 stars. I am at table 1. This is the first time I'm at table 1 of the day, and the last time I'm at table 1 for the day. I play against another TS Neptune. This is actually more fish style TS Neptune, where you have the Divermons, the Wavemon. I don't know if he has Shellmon because I never saw it, but he might have had Shellmon. And you do the combo where you unsuspend the Divermon, you evo to the Neptune, and so on. I ended up losing that one 0-2 because at that point, so this is round 5. I was like feeling a little mentally fatigued, and like I just got like, this is when like my headaches were starting to like pop up, but like I felt like I played so poorly. It was like getting super hot in there at this point. This was after I ate, so it wasn't that, but like it just felt hot in there. And like I just like got tired out of nowhere. Like it felt like that round 5 hit me with the 4 rounds prior. And I just remember making some dumb ass mistakes where I was like, what am I doing? And now I'm forced to commit. I can't take this play back. And I was like, yeah, I'm cooked. And so basically what happened was I go promo Millie. I pop myself to play out like Chimera Machine. And then prior to even realizing, I realized I don't have a Millenniumon hand. For whatever reason, I thought I had Millenniumon hand, and so I play a Chimera machine, hoping they don't get bomb decked, and they get bomb decked basically. And so
Yeah.
I was cooked at that point because I was like, all right, that was like the only machine on Chimera I had. I gotta redraw them again, and hopefully I get there within the time frame. And then I made another misplay in that same game, I believe, that just like definitely cost me the game. I was like, the first one was bad, but like I was able to like recover because I found the pieces eventually. Within the same turn, I think it was, because I had Chitose and stuff set up, so I had like search going. But I make another like blunder. It was like really bad. This time it was no, yeah, I don't have. So yeah, the play was I ended up having like 6 memory because he hard drops I think Neptune or something like that. And so I had enough memory to go search, draw, because like I play a like analog youth or like one of the options and I like a rookie within the same turn, whatever it was. I had enough turns. I find Chimeramon. I need to find Chimera because I found my Machinimon already, and I need another Chimeramon to DNA because I have PT18 Millie at this point, and I forget to trash Chimeramon, and I needed to be in the trash, and I hard drop I think promo Millie, thinking I have it in my hand, have it in trash, and I go look through my trash. I'm like, oh, I'm cooked.
We've definitely have played like practice matches where you've done that before.
100%.
Yep, that happens sometimes.
And so, because at that point I had like I said, he put me like 6. Let's say I went to like 7 or 8, something like that. So I had enough plays to where I had the option in my hand or like a Gizamon to go, play the option, trash the Chimera one, draw 2, whatever it was, or like draw 2, trash 2. And then like play promo because no matter what, even at 0, I can still play the game, so it doesn't matter. So that's where I goofed on terribly, and then I was like, yeah, I'm cooked at this point. I forgot about that. Couldn't deal with the board state. I couldn't go for game, and I'm losing. And then game 2, I just remember like my hand not being that good of a starting hand, and he pops off, and I deal with I deal with 2 Neptunemons. That's what it was. Within this game, I deal with 2 Neptunes. A little slow at the gates, but like I was able to get there. And I deal with 2 Neptunes. And I had a situation where I go Z's effect to bottom deck something. I had to top deck something with trash and bottom deck something. I decided not to do it. And I think that ended up hurting me. And he draws into a 3rd Neptune. I was like, F, because he goes
so good.
he goes into what's it called? Digimon, like swings out, something like that on suspends with the end of turn effect, goes to the Neptune, does and like swings out for a game or something like that. I was like, F. Like I could have done something here better, and I just made mistakes on the way. And so at this point, because it was like a relatively like I'm saying all this and it sounds like it's a grind, but like I lost within like no, that wasn't it. That was the next round. I'm thinking of. So I lose.
Out of curiosity, was he on the Shellmons? Like, was he doing the Shellmon Venus Warp or no?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember seeing Shellmons. I just remember him doing Divermon. But he did have Venusmon in the deck because he's right. Venusmon me at some point, if I remember correctly. And
sure.
So
yeah.
I just don't remember. I just don't remember seeing a Shellmon. I just know I saw Diremon for sure. I would assume he had like at least 1 or 2 of it in the deck. But yeah, I ended up getting cooked unfortunately that round. So I was like, it is what it is. Let's try to bounce back next round. Next round comes around. This is round 6 now. I run into Medusa, and game 1, I also make a mistake in that one. I think it was another situation where I forgot I don't have Chimera, and I go do a play thinking I had Chimera or something like that. So I don't remember fully. And then game 2, I just remember I bricked out. I had the most basic hand possible where I had all Digimon, because this was after a mulligan, because I was trying mulligan for the Chitose. I go Evo in the bag to like a Gazi Giza, go into Delta. my man's opens up cracked, and basically that's all she wrote. I couldn't do much at all, no setup at all. I couldn't facilitate my trash, which is Tosei's. I didn't even have the options. And when I did draw into options, it was like way too late of a play. And then my security was dog water. It was not good at all. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm done. That man had like God cuts. I don't know. Cause like I was for the most part, like at that point, I didn't have really any bricks at all. That was bad. And even if I did have like bad hands, I was able to get out of it. Um, but like it was just terrible. So much so, one of our boys, his name is Kai. Shout out to him. He was like right behind me or something like that. He had saw or something like that, or he was already done with his because he was packing up people at that point pretty fast because he was also on Medusa. And I just turned around. I was like, bro, the fuck am I supposed to do? I had nothing.
Yeah.
Like, of course, I'm gonna lose that one. Like, yeah, I felt like I said it loud, where probably like my opponent heard, and he probably was like, ew, that was rude. But like, it wasn't even like intentionally like that. It was just like annoyed that I couldn't play the game because I just bricked out. But here's what it's like. So here's at this point where I got clapped up pretty fast. Like, I think it was like 20 minutes or something like that on the board left this round. It was so hot and I'm heated mentally and physically. And I go step out. Like, I noticed that like everyone was still playing their games. I think Lewis was still playing. You were still playing at this point.
Probably, yeah.
I didn't see Mike. I don't know where he had gone. And I go outside real quick. Because at this point it was like getting cool outside and it was starting to rain. And I just sat on like the bench. I was like, and just like legit cool down because I was just so frustrated because and at this point I'm spiraling on the inside thinking like, damn, this is how the rest of my tournament is gonna go. I'm just gonna brick out and I'm not gonna find my pieces and I'm just gonna lose like this. This is how it's gonna be because anytime I do lose, that's what happens. And so I guess at 5-10 minutes being outside, kind of like woosah, I was able to calm down, relax, get my mind straight. I'm like, all right, you know what? Next round starts. I'm gonna be good. No bricks. We're gonna pop out and just win. And at this point, I need to win out. I'm X2. I'm going to round 7, 5, or 4 and 2 at this point, and I can't lose a single game, a single round actually. Right. Ironically, I don't even lose a single game, so that's how much like I was able to like get back into it. Round 7, I run into Vortex Digimon. This is the first my second Vortex Digimon matchups. I win that one 2-0. Game 1, he doesn't see Vortex. He goes into like Savaga. He does his Savaga shenanigans right there. But like you don't go to Vortex. I have Shaman DX already, so like I didn't care. But with that, with just Savaga, easy light work. So I ended up packing it up, getting to Zed, I think at that point, and like pop off and win the following turn, something like that. Sure. Then game 2 happens. He does get into Vortex. And then he has like emblem on board. He has like stuff set up. It was the media. That was the ace. That was the ace play. Yeah, that was the ace play. So funny situation. Not funny, but like I'm sure he felt some type of way. He gets into the Vortex. He goes, I think at this point it's just the Vortex on board with like a bunch of small bodies. And I loop him for probably like 10 minutes straight.
That's crazy.
I'm sure he was just probably like, what the F is happening? And I could tell he didn't necessarily know what Millenniumon did. So like he kept asking certain questions. And I'm just like popping the F off. I have every single thing. I have like 3 of Machine, 3 Chimera. I have the Rush one. I have Shadowmon DX. I have everything. Millenniumon, both Millenniumons. I go, keep going. Millenniumon swing. You're forced to battle or forced to block. Great, I die. We'll play it back. We're gonna keep doing this again. Boom, do it again, and then so on. I just keep going that route, right? To the point of I get him down to 0 security, I think it is. He goes his following he's not the one with the ace play or medieval play. I think he does it at one point and it just didn't matter. But again, I felt bad because I did like a 10-minute turn and I put him down to like 0 security and I go, I missed sequence. I might lose because I'm at 0 security. And he says something. I was like, all right. I passed turn with like 2. He goes, swings with a vortex. He forces battle on, I think Moon Millie, I think it was, because that's what I had on board. And he goes, swings. I'm like, the battle happens first, right? So I'll go protect Millenniumon. We'll protect Moon Millie, killing Millenniumon. BT-18, bottom deck Chimera Machine. We hard drop promo. We de-digivolve. No, I go promo, delete itself. Effect, we play out Machine Chimera. Machine de-digivolve. Chimera, we go delete. We delete. Go into promo. I go de-digivolve by 2 and kill it. And as I'm doing the first part of the combo, he goes, "Can't you just kill it?" And he was kind of like a little salty about it. And I was like, I don't know. I gotta just get there first. I don't want to like cheat you out of it. Like that's my thought process because I want to make sure you have it.
Did you not have all the pieces in your hand?
I did, but like,
okay.
I don't want him to think like I don't want to tell him like, yeah, I have everything, and then like he scoops up and I'm like, I BS'd him. You know what I'm saying? Sure. I just didn't want that type of weird thing, and I want to make sure I sequenced it for him so he knows like, yo, this is it, right? And then he was like, again, he was a bit salty about it. And like I wasn't trying to be like rude about it. I told him, was like, I just want to make sure you knew I had it, type of thing. And then he was like, yeah, I got nothing. You win. I was like, yeah. And so I ended up getting it. Then next round 8 happens. I play against another Vortex. So that Vortex player pops off game 1. He didn't see Vortex either early. And so I'm pretty sure I just loop and win, call it a day. Game 2, he gets into the Vortex and I don't have like crazy loop like I did prior, but I did it like once or twice to the point where I cleared his board and I go Shaman DX, stun his Vortex. Then he goes, drops the ace or no, it was medieval because I already have Moon and I already did 2 checks on him, I think it was, and Moon trashed his last one, put him to 2. On his turn, he goes medieval, pops one of my Digimon, and I go Moon effect, trash his security. Now he's at 1. He goes, tries to swing over something. Then he goes emblem, goes into Vortex. I'm like, ooh, I gotta deal with 2 Vortex. I'm already dealing with 1, no problem. I just have to trash his last security and then we'll just loop it out. So that's kind of basically what happens. He deletes whatever he deletes. I end up having a board of just like Moon and like maybe something else. I draw, raise, I ISM, kill my rookie. Moon pops off, puts him down to 0 security. And now basically everything he has to use with Vortex, he has to block and stuff, right? You have to force a battle on the swinger. You have to block when you unsuspend and stuff. So now I deal with his first Vortex first, obviously. De-digivolve, pop it, call it a day. And now just loop him out until I win that turn at that point. And then getting that one 2-0, again, like I mentioned before. And then last but not least, I verse a puppet player. I would say thanks to Gino, I knew how to deal with this pretty easily because we've been playtesting this matchup quite a bit. And I've learned it was just like, hey, if they got it, they got it. But if they don't, they're going to set up a beautiful board and they're going to put me down to 1-0 security and call it a day. And so that's basically what happened, right? Game 1, she does the combo, right? She goes into Central. She does the combo. She puts me down to a 1 security. I go raise my rookie in the back. I pop off and I just win. Not necessarily win that turn, but in that matchup, that's basically a win because they have to use all their resources. And sometimes it's their tamers as well. So like you clear their board and then they go, you give them 2 to 3 memory. There's nothing on board. They can't really do much out of it. And it's just basically a game. And then following turn, I just swing out and just win. Game 2, same concept, except she gets a little more aggro than she did prior. She ends up making she has like double emblem, and she had played the 4-cost Murray earlier. And so on her turn, she ends up having double Senju with Namakimon that gives the
Sheesh.
protection on board. She puts me down to 0 security. She could not close out the game. And I figured she couldn't just because the way the sequences of things happening. I think she might hit Chitose out or something like that. And that put her in a situation where she definitely couldn't close out game. And double Senju, one with protection, one with Nameki protection, I should say, and then one Senju. So it's 3 bodies. Her tokens die at the end of the turn, whatever. And I go raise Delta with Raid and Retail, and I ask her, I was like, hey, does Namekimon have protection by any chance? And she goes, no, but I can do the end of attack on the central stack and just end of attack. I was like, great. But that also pops a puppet. So I go, all right, because both of your centrals are suspended because they swung to try to go for game.
Right.
I go Raid over Namekimon. She thinks about it. She's like, okay, I'll let it through. And at that point, I had a game because I knew if I killed that first and I deal with the second stack that doesn't have protection, I just win. And so I go, she kills that. I play promo. I D0 the first stack, kill it, BT 18 milli, stack her deck. And then eventually I go into BT 18 milli, pop the Sendro because that protection, you need to have another puppet on board.
Right.
If you don't have that, you don't have the protection. And the Mekimon protection is just ZP and, D-Digivolve.
D-Digi, yep.
And so I put it on again to like 2 to 3 security. Didn't matter. She couldn't make the comeback, even if I did give her a bunch of memory, which I don't think I did. It was like, again, maybe 2 to 3. And I winning. And at that point, being X2, I had to hope I make it. I was hoping that the people I lost to were better seated than me. But I still ended up getting in. I got 13th place, as we mentioned earlier, which is super hype because obviously I get my invite. I definitely think I could have done things better if I would have played better in that TS Neptune matchup. I definitely felt I could have been like probably X1 or even who knows, I could have been undefeated. Don't know, but it is what it is. A little disappointed on that aspect of it, but still hyped that I got top 16. I got my invites in that. So now moving forward, I don't have to, go hard in these regionals and do the grinds. I already made it. I already did it. First time getting an invite this early. It's very hype for me. And I think it shows that like I'm, I don't just BS with the BS. Like I'm a good player and like I'm playing against other players that are also striving for the invite. So that's how I look at it. As such. So I'm hyped about that for sure. Getting Greymon's awesome because that's my boy, and Agu and some of the other things. Fantastic. Would love to have gone, a higher placing, but it is what it is. Hopefully for other regionals, we can just, play still top, but I don't have to play, I can play whatever I feel like at that moment. And
you don't have that pressure of I gotta get my invite. So
yep, exactly. And so that's how our regionals was. And then, went back, celebrated, got some food. Our boy Mike made us some burgers. And Gino, something, what are they called?
They weren't Impossible burgers. They were
okay. That's what I was thinking of.
They were a style of veggie burger, but they weren't like the black bean style. I forgot what ones they were, but they were good.
Yeah. He made us some burgers. They were pretty good. We played some games. We played whatever card game that Gino likes. The
best game, party game in the world, Shay Geek. I love that game.
Look it up if you want to. It was a fun time. Straight up, the best part of that trip was legit hanging out with the boys, playing some games like good old days, kind of like maybe not with them back in my day, but like still fun to do that
same
type
vibe.
Of thing.
Yeah,
exactly. It was just the same vibe. Super fun playing Melee, trying to unlock characters like we were young boys and stuff.
Yeah,
it was just
a bunch of dudes hanging out playing games. Yeah,
yep. Besides obvious of topping, got some good event pack cards because I got myself an Alter S, which is
I'm a single Alter S, and I got 4 packs because I got my participants and then I got extras for top 32. And I pulled like
So
crap for those.
I got was Alter S, Gado, Aguni, Lilymon, and Metal Greymon X. Metal Greymon X being full bordered is pretty awesome. Especially for me, because you know I like my Greymon decks even though they're ass. But yeah, that was regionals for us. There was some good and bad, but mostly good, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, we both had good runs. Yours is slightly better, but you know, we'll get it next time. We'll get it next time.
For sure. We don't know when the next regionals we're gonna go to in person. Might just be store regionals. Who knows at this point? Maybe we'll go to Gen Con or something. We'll see, depending on, you know, how things fall and whatnot. But yeah, that was our regional run. If anyone who doesn't know, you can check out currently what is the site called dcg-nexus.com if you want to see the top 16 deck list of that regional. You can see me at number 13 if you want to ever check out my list. I will also have a deck profile by then, hopefully, or whatever. So you'll see more details in my matchups and all that good stuff. There, you know, reasons for cards and whatnot.
You're not getting a top 32 list from me. It's puppets with 3 tech choices. Okay, you guys can figure it out.
yeah. Aggro puppets. Let's play it that, right?
Yes, very aggro.
So with that being said,
before you cut it, I do want to say that's one thing that like I could feel myself have evolved as a player, where like I have the ability to do 4 or 5 checks here, but like so many games I'm like 1 check, no overclock, no alliance, like just so that I'm not like giving my opponent more resources, and then next turn I just blow them out of the water. And like I was doing that, like it hurts my soul a little to restrain myself to that, but like with security the way it is in this game now and resources so very valuable, it's just like nope, 1 check. If I die in security, I got barrier. Like that's it. My Imperial German player was like, I would really like you to hit a Davison Ken out of security. I said, I'm just gonna do 1 check, and she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yep, just 1 check. I don't want to hit a Davison Ken out of security. And she goes, I would really like you to hit a Davison Ken out of security. So, you know, just a little evolution there of my play style. So that's all I wanted to say. That's my last thoughts on our regional run.
Cool. Yeah, so with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe. If you want to see more podcasts from us, don't forget to comment below. If y'all were at the regional, if y'all were at Virginia regional, let us know how you did. If you went, if you didn't, if you played on the online regionals, let us know how you did for that, or you know, any other events y'all participated over the weekend or whatever, including locals or something like that. You know, let us know.
Yep,
and we're gonna talk more about it. Yep,
straight up.
So with that being said, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Momentai, everybody.